Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alyssa if you do not know me, and I run a crochet small business called LuluNicoleandCo. And in this week's video, we are going to be working on some whips. So I have gotten my large coffee made up for the morning, and we are going to go through some of the whips that I do have, and then I'll take you along the day and show you what we end up working on. To be honest, even right now filming this, I have no idea what we're going to start with. So I'm just going to take you through the whips. So the first thing that I have, and I was just working on this yesterday, working on the second panel and finishing up the first one, is I am making a star sweater. I have made tons of the granny stitch cardigans, and while I do absolutely love them and I will continue to make more of those, I wanted to keep on the theme with trying some more wearables in 2026. And so the star sweater is the first one that I am trying, and I do have both panels done for this. I just need to sew up the places where it needs sewed up and then add on sleeves. So this one might be a contender to work on today. We will see, but that is the first one. I then have another crochet wearable, and this one is a granny stitch cardigan, but this one is going to be quite some work because we have, I want to say, 2 more rows need added to this side. So this is in the Big Twist Sage color, and it's that granny stitch cardigan. There's that first side. It's not all the way done, but it is surely getting there. Then I have started the second side. We've gotten about this far along, and I do obviously need more on this side as well. I am making the oversized fit is my goal for this cardigan, and I'm hoping that we can get through it with one more ball of sage. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fully complete it just with the amount of yarn that I have left, but then I have made my own little pattern for sunflowers because I wanted to put sunflowers on the back of it, and I have all 5 of the sunflower granny squares that I made with my own pattern kind of made up already, and so this is just going to get sewn onto the back of the panels once they are done. I do have a million ends to weave in before that can happen though, because it's going to be easier to weave in the ends on this piece when it's not connected to the big cardigan than it will be later when it is connected. So that one is definitely gonna have its work cut out for me. I don't know if it's going to get done today. I don't know if I'm gonna work on this one today, but I did want to show it off because I have been meaning to show it to you guys for a while now and just haven't yet. So there is that one. Okay, then the next ones that I have are all in this bin. So I got out one of my bins that go in my like big cube organizer that I have in my house, and I filled it with little whips that I had in a bunch of different bins across my space. I had whips on the floor, I had tons of different things, and I decided to put all of like the smaller manageable ones into this bin for ideas such as this video, or just when I have a day and I'm like, you know, I really would like some quick projects, some quick to finish projects. I kind of put them all in here, also as a reminder to just like, you know, get some stuff done. The first thing, this bag is actually not a whip, but I did make it a while ago. It is holding, however, 2 balls of yarn that are being double stranded into a knit beanie. It's one of the double stranded knit beanies from Passionate Goods here on YouTube. And so I obviously started this back when fall was happening because it's got some fall colors, and I never got around to finishing it. It's my second knit hat that I've ever made. I learned how to knit from that pattern and from her YouTube video. So that is one project option we have. I have tons of other little things in here as well. I have chicken bodies that I just don't have like the sewed on pieces for. So I don't have like the little red like piece that goes on top. I could forget what that's called on a chicken, but the little red piece that goes on top, the eyes and then the mouth will need sewn on to a couple of these bodies. I have an octo that's literally completely done. It just needs stuffed and then closed. I think we'll probably do this one today. I have a scarf in here that is interlocking crochet, and so last year, towards the end of the year, I wanted to use up some scraps and learn how to do an interlocking crochet pattern. And I actually started learning how to do the pattern. I did a little swatch that I turned into a coaster that sits on my side table here on my couch, and I really loved that. And so I wanted to try out a scarf next. So I changed how many the pattern has for their blanket, because this is actually a blanket pattern, and I decided to just instead, I'm going to stop after a couple of rounds and make it a scarf. But that is what this one is looking like. Again, not sure if we'll get to that today, but it is really pretty. It's got some beautiful colors. I'm mixing some I Love This Yarn and Big Twist together for it, and so that one's also in there. I have, let's see, I have some other projects on the bottom. I have a cardigan that I'm taking a bunch of leftover yarn that I have from like a bunch of different projects. It's kind of a scrap yarn project I'm making into a cardigan, but I'm not going to dig that out and show it to you right now, just because I know I'm not going to work on it in today's video. And then the last thing I have is I have a ton of wound up balls. I got a yarn winder for Christmas, and so I wounded up a bunch of my extra yarn that I had from tons of different projects across my house. Some of these actually came from cardigans I did last year, like this red one came from a Christmas one that I gave as a gift this past year. And then there's a yellow one. There's tons of different colors in here. I have a ton of these, and I put them in my project bin, not to work on a scrap yarn project, but because I am doing the 206 cardigan challenge, I know that eventually I will get to these colors, and since I don't have them done yet, I just wanted to start working up the first side of Zed cardigan, so when I do get to those colors, I already have a little bit of it started to save me some time. And so I have a ton of these colors, and I can work on pieces for future cardigans with these as well. Last thing I wanted to show you from this bin that I have is I have in rainbow colors these little tentacles, and these little tentacles, or is that what they're called? Tentacles? I don't know. They go on jellyfish, and so I make little plushy jellyfish. If you would like to see some of the ones that I have made, I do have them listed on my Etsy shop. Link is always in the bio of my YouTube channel, but I have a bunch of these in rainbow pastel colors. I just don't have the heads of the jellyfish made up, or like the base of them, and so eventually I'm going to make the heads and the bases and fully make those into jellyfish, since I do have all of the other pieces done for those. Other than that, I am going to sit here and ponder for a minute what project I want to start on first, and you will see probably some time-lapse clips or some slowed down clips of me working on some of these projects. Sorry, I forgot one. You guys can even see this one. This is a tote bag that I started a long time ago. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful tote bag. The only thing it really needs is straps, and I just have never gotten around to doing that. So maybe we'll look into doing this one today as well. I'm gonna stop talking your ear off, and we will see what I get started with first in this next clip. almost 3 hours I've been working on, as you can see from all of the previous clips, I decided to start with the whip that is this scarf. And so I have been working through row after row of interlocking crochet on this scarf, and it is so beautiful. Let me find some blues or pinks. It's a little hard to see the difference in the pattern when you're looking at blue on blue almost, but it is still at any point in this scarf so gorgeous. I am not done with it yet. I think I really like this size of a scarf, and if it was a different pattern I'd probably stop here, but I want to keep going until it kind of looks more finished on both sides. So the beauty of interlocking crochet, if you've never done it or seen it before, is that there's two different sides to it. So there's two different patterns. This is the pattern on that other side. It's more got like two squares kind of connected, and I just think it is so pretty. This is very soft. It is awesome. I love it. It is extremely long. Let me kind of walk you through how I did this. So I am completely blanking on who made this pattern, but I'll put it on the screen right here for you guys to read, and I'll also of course have the tutorial linked to her YouTube channel and that video in the description box. But I did her tutorial. I watched her tutorial. That's how I'm making this, learning directly from her and using her pattern. But along with that, what I did was I started by chaining out what it tells you in the blog post to chain if you were making her blanket, because this is originally a blanket pattern. And so I think it's around like 300 something chains, very low, like I think it's around 300, but it's extremely long. It kind of just keeps on going, and I thought this perfect for a scarf because it can drape over you, and then it can come around, it can wrap, and then it can, you know, drape over you again, and it's nice and warm. If you look down here, it's nice and long, and then you can display both patterns as well. I think it is beautiful for a scarf. Again, right now I love the thickness of this. I love how wide it is. I do think I am going to keep going though, just a little bit. I only have this much yarn left of the blue though, so I probably won't make it too far. I just wanted to come on and kind of walk through how I'm doing this. I'm just doing the blanket pattern, but doing way less workup rows of it so that it is that beautiful scarf size. Other than that, again, if you absolutely love this project or you love the colors, feel free to check out her pattern. It'll be linked below, as I said earlier, but this is so pretty, and I am using one of the blue colors, and for the life of me, I can't remember what this one was called because I took off the wrapper of it a long time ago, but it's one of the big twist colors and one of their blues. And then the other color I'm using is Daydreamery by I Love This Yarn. This one is one of my favorite print line colors that they have, and you guys know that I work with that type of yarn all the time. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and continue to work on this, and I will show you it one more time once it is done, and then we will move on to another project. I'm thinking I'll work on this for maybe at most another hour, but we will see. I will check back with you in I'm finishing up my last little row of this scarf right now, and I fear that I'm about to lose to Yarn Chicken. I decided to do a alternating single and double crochet border, and I don't think that I'm going to make it all the way through this border. It's not even a border going all the way around, it's just a border on the very last little row up here, just because my last row of the interlocking had the like pretty like variegated yarn, and then the normal like blue, it was separated. And so if you've ever done interlocking crochet, that means I have two crochet pieces, but they're not connected yet, so they're not interlocking, which means they're kind of just falling to themselves, kind of like the very bottom here. If you see, this is disconnected from this just because of the way that you start interlocking crochet, and a border will fix that. but I know I didn't have enough yarn to do a full border, so I was just going to do border-esque to connect the very top here. And so I'm just doing like a single double back and forth border, but as you saw, I literally have this much yarn left. I have about this much left of the scarf to do this border on. I've been working on it for quite some time, and I just don't think that I'm gonna get all the way through. I am trying to have some hope. I'm working with a 5mm hook, so it's very small. I'm hoping that I can get through this with the amount of yarn that I have left without it causing an issue, but we will see. I'm really hoping. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off as much of this yarn as I can get through, and I will be back in just a moment. Oops. I'm gonna be back in just a moment to show you how far I actually got and pray that we win, Yarn Chicken. All right, I did lose Yarn Chicken, but I decided to just attach a little bit of the variegated yarn that I was using to finish. So you see this is the other color, there's the variegated, and I just finished it up. But there's that, now I just have to weave in the ends. All right, it is about 5 o'clock now, so it is much later, and I've decided for my second project, I think I'm only gonna work on about 2 in this video. I just finished the scarf. I am now going to pick up some of this yarn and continue to knit this hat. I probably won't get this done in this video. If I do, I'll obviously show it to you, but I probably won't get it done quite yet in this video. But the rest of the night, I'm just going to show clips of me working on this, and then I will close out the video tomorrow and show you what all we got done total. All right, I am back. It is the next day now, and I'm back to show you how far we got on all of our projects. I have pulled out another Alani for today. This is the cherry slush one, and we are good to go. So I thought yesterday, and I thought last time I talked to you, that I'd only end up getting through 2 projects. I thought I'd work a little bit on the knit hat, and then I obviously finished the scarf, and I'll show that in full to you right now. But I did end up working on 2 other projects, which you guys kind of saw some clips of, so we'll also talk about those. First thing, obviously, was this very large scarf. It keeps going on and on. The way that I love to wear this, and there's a couple different ways, is I like to either do it like this and wrap it around and then let it come back, or the other way that I love to wear this scarf, just because of its length, is I like going and finding the center, wrapping it around and pulling the ends through the center. But anyway, a little bit about this scarf. I already talked about what type of yarn it was from, and the pattern, again, it will be linked down below. But the beauty of using interlocking crochet is that there's 2 different patterns. So the full pattern and how wide this scarf ended up being, let me take it off to show it to you, is it ended up being about this wide. So it ended up being a little bit bigger by the end, and it's so pretty. So here's what I like to call the back side, but it's interchangeable. You could use whatever side you liked more. And it's kind of got these like stacked squares on it. Just so beautiful. And then the other side focuses more on making this the main color, and then these little squares kind of that background color. And if you look right here, kind of look at the bottom, you can see that blue border that ended up kind of making it look a little better. And then obviously I ran out of yarn, but the scarf is for me, so I really don't care. It doesn't have to be perfect. Is the end of, maybe it wasn't this side, maybe it was the other side. The ending, I ended up using a little bit of the variegated yarn up here to finish it off, and I still think it turned out looking so cute, and from far away you barely notice. So here is that very first project. It was a very long scarf, and I am in love with this one. Then the second one, I was correct, I did not end up finishing the knit hat, but I think that also is in part where I ended up working on some other projects for quite some time of the night. I did get a little bit further, and the more and more I look at this, the more and more it reminds me of Harry Potter, of one of the houses. I believe it's Gryffindor it's reminding me of, but I feel like it is so stinking cute. I feel like it is definitely getting there. I added a few more inches onto it, and I will keep working on this in my background time this week, and hopefully we'll get these, hopefully we'll get this hat off of the hook soon. The third project that I ended up working on was just a little thing. I did it towards the end of the night, is I worked on stuffing and closing up my octo, and you guys saw that entire process in the clip right before this one, but there is that little octo, a little pink one. The last project I ended up working on, and I'll come back a little bit to show you this one, is I worked on my star sweater. So I put the pieces together. I started the sleeves, and right now they just look like short sleeves. I will be finishing them off to be full long sleeves. I just didn't have time for this video. So here is what it is currently looking like. And then what I ended up doing as the last little piece to work on this was I sewed up these sides right here and right here a little bit, just to close off the sides of that sweater. So here is what that final one is looking like so far. Again, not done, but it is getting there. So I think that is it for today. I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for coming along on this video, and I am so excited that I got to work on some of these projects with you, and I can't wait to dig into this bin in the future and work on some of these projects again. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love that you are here. Please keep coming around, subscribe, like, do all of the things, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone.